my name is Jenny Lauren Dowden for Conduit News, and today we are so excited to have Trevor Loudon joining us by Zoom. As many of you know, he is an author, filmmaker, internationally known blogger, and researcher. His work just spans decades. It is so incredible. And then we have Carrie Salih joining us from the River Valley City Elders Organization to talk about an event that they have happening at the end of this month. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
Well, thanks
Trevor,
so much. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. We're so excited that you're here to talk to us today. For those of our viewers who may not know that much about you, just introduce yourself, talk about your work, and a little bit of your background, if you would.
Well, I'm from New Zealand, which is why I have a southern accent, and I hope you guys
will forgive you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm from New Zealand. For the last 30 years, I've been really researching the left, radicals, communist groups, etc. I made a lot of the connections. I identified Obama's Marxist mentor, Frank Marshall Davis. I exposed Obama's green jobs, Arban Jones, and Glenn Beck used that information to get him thrown out of the White House. Glenn Beck used a lot of my stuff on his chalkboards. And so I've written books since then, Enemies Within in 2016, which is about the Marxist and Islamist infiltration of the Congress. And the recent movie, Enemies Within the Church, which is exactly what it says about the Marxist infiltration of even evangelicals in the Southern Baptists now. So, yeah, I lift up the carpet and look what's underneath and bring it to light.
Talk to us about how you've been doing that, bringing that to light. I can only imagine, especially Enemies Within the Church, that is probably one that especially evangelicals here in America don't want you to uncover as well. And something that you also are tremendous at, you help people connect the dots of all of this, that these are not isolated incidents such as the rise of feminism, the war on the family. Talk to us about what that looks like, what that means, and how it is all related.
Well, see, we're in a communist revolution now. That's actually what we're in. And if you look at, say, Black Lives Matter, that's a Chinese communist operation. You look at the radical LGBTQ movement, that comes out of the Communist Party, Maoist groups, etc. Look at the radical feminist movement, the environmental movement to shut down pipelines and that kind of thing. That's all driven by the Communist Party and similar groups. And these groups are working for Russia and China, by the way, still in today's thing. The open border, we look at the open border as a big mistake. No, it's not a mistake. You know, Obama and Biden are both working with Marxists to keep the borders wide open, because that is the main way they intend to bring revolution to America. And we just got to understand, Mexico has a communist president now, AMLO, Obrador is his name, and he's working with American communists to keep the border open so that they can flood this country with, terrorists, with spies, with and millions and millions of Democratic voters. So all of these things that are bringing America down right now, the gutting of the military, the radical environmental movement, the radicals in the Democratic Party, the subversion that's going on in education, critical race theory, which is only one of the Marxist operations in education right now. All of these should be seen as a whole. They are a revolution to take down the world's only real constitutional republic and replace it with a socialist form of government. So they're all interrelated, and Americans see all these different things, but they don't make the connection that they're all part of the same revolutionary movement.
Yeah, it has been said, in fact, you mentioned Glenn Beck, he said that you do the job that few in the media ever attempt. And I believe that to be true. Sometimes you are brushed off as, oh, Trevor, that's conspiracy, that's a conspiracy theory. But what do you say to that? And do you feel as though over the course of the past several years, all of these conspiracy theories are coming true?
What I get a lot when I do a TV show for Epoch TV, and I get a lot of comments, and I always getting comments. Trevor warned us about this 10 years ago. Well, as you said, when you introduced one of the local guys in Arkansas, I sold him one of my books 10 years ago, and he said to you, Trevor was warning us about this 10 years ago. Well, it's not that I'm psychic. I just read their stuff. I read the communist press. I read all of these publications. I interview former communists. I interview former intelligence officers. It's not hard to figure this stuff out. So, yeah, you can say what you like. I don't care. You know, all politics is conspiracy. You know, people sit in a room and work out how they're going to make the public move in one way or another. The Republicans do it, the Democrats do it, and the communists do it. The only thing is the communists do it in real secrecy, and they work through organizations like the Democrats and even sometimes through the Republicans.
Yeah, the book that you referenced is this one, our co-founder of Conduit. Whenever I told him that you were coming on, and that's exactly what he said. He said, I met Trevor. He was here over a decade ago, and he tried to warn us. No one listened, you know, and here we are. How do you, I guess, you know, I do think that there are many people, would you say, I think they are waking up, they are engaged, they want to know more. How do you encourage them to really dig into the research and to do something about it? I mean, what would you say to that?
Yeah, well, I think the COVID, which is a biological weapon from China, in my opinion. But anyway,
Yes.
the COVID did us some favors in a way, because you had millions of Americans sitting at home for a year, reading their kids' school textbooks, sitting in on their kids' Zoom, webinars, watching their cities getting burnt, watching an election stolen, and they're finally waking up to the fact that, yeah, we could lose this country. We could lose everything we hold dear in this country. So everywhere I go, I'm seeing Moms for Liberty. I'm seeing new groups springing up all over the place that I've never seen before, hundreds of groups. And it's like the Tea Party all over again, but a much younger demographic. These are a lot of people in their 30s and 40s. These are a lot of young moms and young dads who normally would be just paying the mortgage and getting their job done. But they are actively involved, and we're going to see this transfer into the elections coming up. We're going to see the grassroots of the Republican Party move way more conservative, way more constitutionalist. The rhinos are on the run. You know, the weak Republicans are on the run. So I'm just saying, keep doing your research. Don't take anything for granted. Look at your kids' school textbooks and see if you approve of what these kids are being told. You are a free agent. Your kids are yours. Make sure they're educated as they should be, and make sure you know enough to hand to your children the great country that you inherited, even one that's even greater. That's our responsibility. You know, all of us, everybody in America, all of you, you had fathers and grandfathers who fought wars to keep this country safe. Well, we don't have to pick up guns and charge the beaches at Normandy, but we do have to go to the darn school board meeting. We do have to run people for office. We do have to take over our county commissions. We do have to elect good state reps and good state senators and good congressmen and America First presidents. And all of that is within our power to do if we educate ourselves and we motivate ourselves. It's all there.
Yeah, we agree. That was so exciting to hear. Earlier, we talked about, and you briefly mentioned on this, grassroots organizations like River Valley City Elders. They're springing up everywhere, especially here in Arkansas. Don't you feel as though they are more united? They're more activated. And I do think that, especially in the Republican primaries and then moving forward to November, we will see those rhinos kicked out of office finally. But talk to us about that specifically, and then organizations such as the state chamber, you know, moving in and lobbying and helping these legislators.
Well, see, this is the thing. You know, the Republican Party was set up as a grassroots political party to end slavery. right, to end black slavery in America. Well, now the Republican Party has got to return to those grassroots to end all slavery in America, because we are heading for slavery in this country. The Democrats do what the Democrats do. They've been infiltrated by communists now for 60 years. I say there's about 100 members of Congress and 25 members of the US Senate who couldn't pass a background check to drive a school bus in any county in Arkansas. But they are so enmeshed with Russians, with Chinese, with Cubans, with Iranians, local communists, and they control every major committee in Congress. They control Homeland Security, they control intelligence, they control armed services. All of them are run by Marxists now. Well, how have we got to that state? Because too many darn weak Republicans who are supposed to be the watchmen against socialism have rolled over. That is why we're in this state. So we need grassroots Republicans and a whole bunch less rhinos to save this country. You know, the Jeb Bush model ain't going to work anymore. We saw something different with President Trump, and that's the bar that we've set. We've got to elect America first, pro-Constitution, patriotic candidates who will say it like it is and stick it to the left. Absolutely stick it to the left, because they will destroy our country if we don't stop them. This is a war for the soul of the nation, really.
Absolutely.
And I'll just add, the Chamber of Commerce is all about business, and I love business, but they're not about the Constitution. They love open borders because that's cheap labor for their big business, you know, to run their farms and their factories. And they will promote any socialist scheme going, from global warming to Common Core to supporting the LGBTQ agenda. They'll do anything to roll over to big business. And sometimes big business works against America. I'm for small business, the American free enterprise system. I'm not necessarily for some of the faceless corporations out there who are woke and left and do not have this country's interests at heart.
And we've seen that specifically here in Arkansas. We were talking about the state chamber and really how they partnered up with our major corporations here, Walmart, Tyson, and really lobbied against the average American during this past session and pushed for, you know, mandates. They were against a bill that would stop, you know, gender transitioning surgeries for kids. And so I think that you're absolutely right. I want to ask Carrie.
Look in South Dakota, Kristi Noem. She had a bill before her, you know, to stop men who think they're women competing in girls' sports. And she vetoed that bill on pressure from big business against the interests of the South Dakotan people, against every young woman who trains and trains and trains to excel in her sport. She betrayed all of them. She betrayed the people of South Dakota in the interest of woke big business. Well, we cannot allow that to happen in Arkansas or any other state.
Carrie, I want to ask you about River Valley City Elders, the event that you have with Trevor, April 28th. Talk to us a little bit about your organization, how you teamed up with Trevor.
Well, it started with me watching Enemies Within the Church and seeing Trevor Loudon on that. And we want to have a big event. And I thought, wow, I'm going to ask him. And so I got his phone number and I texted him and he said, sure. So I said, oh, okay. That was surprising to me. But we are a group of Christians who have come together. We're from all denominations, but we've come together to impact the River Valley. So that's not just Fort Smith, but that's clear into Oklahoma, all the way to Clarksville, Russellville, Arkansas, Conway. We are an arm of City Elders Tulsa. Jesse Rogers is the founder, and we were introduced very early on in our gathering, in our organizing about City Elders, and we agreed with everything that City Elders Tulsa is about, and that is putting Judeo-Christian values and biblical worldview back into civil government, business, and impact the church. and challenge the church to also get back into the game. So we are Christians. Jesus Christ is at the helm, and we are impacting our local government in school boards. We've got 6 great candidates running for school boards, and we're doing that. We got one elected last year. We have a state representative who comes quite often, several actually, and one called me one day right when they were voting for the hate crimes bill and said, how is River Valley City Elders voting? Because I'm going to vote with you. So what an impact that we've already had, and we're just getting started. So yes, this is Trevor's going to come educate us on communism and Marxism and enemies within the church. And what I like the most, Trevor, is that you're going to help us with what to do about it. So
yeah, well, that's right, and I think you're certainly already on the right track, and that you're building these community groups, you're building networks so you support each other. And I encourage people, buy from Christian businesses, buy from your local community, form your own network. So you're absolutely on the right track, and take over your darn school boards. We can do everything else. If we don't save our kids, we still lose.
That's right.
And our kids, everybody knows a family who a Christian family who slaved away and finally got their first child into college. And they go to college and come back at Thanksgiving and tell their parents how stupid and regressive they are, that they're racist and whatever. So take over your school board, throw out the existing curriculum, put a Hillsdale College curriculum in, or a homeschool curriculum. Teach your kids real math, real science, real history, real English. And I'll tell you what, you get the local real estate agents to fund your campaigns, because they'll make so much money selling houses to the people who want to move into your school districts.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Talk to us just very briefly. We don't want you to give it away, but talk to us about your topic that you will be speaking on April 28th. You've titled it China's War Inside America and What to Do.
Yeah, well, what I'm basically saying is this. The Chinese Communist Party has infiltrated America at every level. But what we don't understand, they've gone right to the grassroots level. They have voter registration organizations, especially in southern states. This network is the reason why Virginia went blue. It's the reason why North Carolina has a Democratic governor. It's the reason why Beto O'Rourke almost beat Ted Cruz in 2018. It's the reason why Arizona has 2 Democrat senators and Georgia has 2 Democrat senators. The Chinese are working the grassroots across the South of America to change the politics, to flip those red southern states blue, to basically turn this into a one-party state. That's what they're trying to do right under our very, very noses. So my goal is to wake up conservatives, let them really understand what their enemy is and what the stakes are and how we can fight back. Because it's no good just coming along and scaring the heck out of people. Anyone can do that.
That's right.
But you need some positive solutions. You need to know that when you are doing the right thing, you are doing the right thing. You need to know, and my advantage is I tour all around the country. I've probably spoken to 500 audiences around your country at least. So I get ideas from other states. I can cross-pollinate a little bit. I can see what the great things they're doing in Indiana. I can see the great things they're doing even in rural California. And all these ideas can be shared. There's some great ideas from New Hampshire that could be applied very much to Arkansas.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about that.
Yeah. So I want to seriously, I want to wake people up to the dilemma we're in, and I don't hold back at all. Halfway through my speech, a lot of people probably want to go out and jump in the nearest river or something, but hang on in there.
Yeah.
It gets better, It's like the military. They break you down, then they build you up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are really looking forward to it. When Carrie called us, this was something that we immediately wanted to be a part of and to help promote. Thank you so much, Trevor, for joining us on Conduit. And Carrie, we look forward to
Thank
this
you.
event with River Valley City Elders. And
Thank
thank you for
you.
all the work that you do. It's really tremendous.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much for having us.
Yeah. Anything else that y'all would want to add?
28th of April, isn't it?
That's yes, April 28th, Fort Smith Convention Center, and we will be sure to include all of this information for our viewers.
Yeah.
Anything else,
Well,
Trevor, that you want to add before we go?
Look, I'm just looking forward to it. I love working with the grassroots. I know, you know, Arkansas is a very, you know, the people in Arkansas are super patriotic, super conservative.
Yeah.
They don't deserve rhinos, and they certainly don't deserve communist Democrats running their state. So anything I can do to help along those lines will be great. And I'm just looking forward to meeting the people.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. We're looking forward to meeting you too.
Well, thank you, ladies. It's been a real pleasure for me.